Hey, hello everyone, welcome to today's video. It is the 23rd of September. Let's take a quick look. I'll spend a little bit of time on the cryptos today since yesterday I've only touched on IBIT. So we'll take a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, which are kind of the main things I watch. The market sold off a little bit today, but it wasn't, anything out of the ordinary in terms of the, kind of how the markets looked. I think they're still fine in here. I mean, we are expecting, because we were a little bit stretched, so a little bit of a pullback in here doesn't do a whole lot. Basically, this was yesterday, so we made a new high and we kind of spent a bunch of time up there, and then today we just kind of starting to sell off. So it's basically a reversal of whatever happened yesterday. Some might look at this as kind of an outside reversal day. I don't know if it's really that impressive just yet, but again, until we start to attack the 20-day moving average and start to create some more distribution days, I'm not too worried. So we'll see how we go into the end of September. It's been a great September so far, so hopefully this last week it's not going to ruin it by having a bunch of selling happen in the market. We'll see what happens, but so far things continue to look fairly decent and in an uptrend. Same for the Nasdaq. I mean, we lost about 73 basis points in here, a little bit on the lower volume side, so nothing major. There was some selling into kind of the large caps. That's why this kind of felt a little bit heavier. Dow Jones about 20 basis points, so a little bit of a rejection out there. And then IWM, this one lost the least from kind of what I see up here, just 23 basis points. So things continue to look good. I haven't touched any of my positions yet. If tomorrow I notice that they're buying it in the morning and then they're selling in the afternoon, closing weaker in the afternoon, then I might start to take some off and pair some back. So that would be a sign for me that maybe the trend on a shorter time frame here, it's starting to kind of change a little bit. We might be going through a correction into the 20-day moving average or so. So that's these are my thoughts on the equities. I don't want to spend. Oh, a couple of things I wanted to talk to you briefly. I wanted to touch on gold and silver. So, look. We remain in a great uptrend in here. I mean, we talked about this large triangle. When we break out in a 1-2, you have your 3-4. It's possible that this is a fifth wave, but you have no real divergence, nothing really to suggest that in a major way. So I think you stick with it. Once you break below 3650, yes, then we can talk about reducing positions and being more careful. But until that happens, this continues to remain a pretty nice and strong move. And then silver, I want to show you the RSI. I mean, look at this beauty. It just was just supported into the 50-day, into the 50 RSI, and then went up, and it just kind of stays up there. That's what you want to see. Now we're a bit extended from the 20-day in here, so some backing and filling, it's fine. But in situations like this, what I usually would do, it's just kind of use that as the guide for stops. And if it comes below that, then we might have a change in trend. Until that happens, this could do this and then continue to go. Then you just kind of raise it, could do that, and then you continue to go. Eventually, that runs into problems, but nobody knows exactly when that is. Okay, so let me take a look at crypto in here and looking at Bitcoin. So we're still looking for further upside. I know crypto has been pulling back. I touched a little bit on Bitcoin yesterday, but again, it's not really doing a whole lot of things necessarily wrong. I would have liked for this trend in here to continue, but it did fail, and there's not much to do. It did fail here at about what it was, 117, 428. It actually just squeezed higher, just kind of took some stops above at about 11,800, and then it came back. Now, the way it's coming back, it's a little bit interesting. It does look slightly impulsive, and it does look like this might not be the whole thing. We'll see. We did measure it yesterday, and this is a 61.8 retracement of this entire move, and we would like for this to hold. If this is a wave 1 of this wave 3, it would go something like this, right? So it would go in a wave 1, a wave 2, 3, 4, and 5. This wave 2 you can see, right, it's exactly at the 61.8 because it's in green. So from from the perspective of theoretical perspective, I should say, you have a nice impulse. What it looks in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you have a pullback into the 61.8, an ideal second wave. The nature of the decline, it is a bit impulsive. So, but again, this is a daily chart. You don't see a whole lot. It could be that this does, and it's basically pushing this wave to a bit more, and it does a B and a C. So it could do something like that, A, B, and then come back one more time, and then it goes. So just kind of be prepared for that. I would not like for it to go past 78.6 of this entire advance, because when that happens, then we're going to threaten 107, 271, and then we're going to be making a new low. And if that happens, then this wave 2 will shift over, and we'll have to be careful there, because then this will become a possible ABC. And I can just label it for you, just for you can do this, or you can do like a WXY if you want. I don't really care much for any of that stuff, but this is that would be kind of how this would happen. And you would likely, ideally, right, again, theoretically, you would fall into some kind of a channel like that, and then then you would look for like some kind of a fib, maybe into 102, 302 would be the 38.2%, and this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or another ABC. If it's a more of a complex correction, it's up to the market how it's going to unfold that, right? Nobody knows. So that's kind of my game plan in here. For right now, basically, I'm waiting for Bitcoin to see if I'm getting a reaction from the 61.8. If I'm starting to see some buying on a daily basis with a little bit more volume, then I might start to test and initiate positions. Then if we break above the top of this B wave, then I get more confidence and then long, and then look for it to break this high and continue to go. If we break lower, then all I got to do is just step to the sideline and just do nothing, just wait for it to correct. It's simple as that. I'm not shorting, that's for sure. Okay, so that's Bitcoin there, and then let me show you Ethereum. Ethereum looks a little bit better in terms of the structure, because we looked at this wave 3, and we've talked about the wave 4 possibly being completed here, and it had an impulse, but it decided to fail and push back lower. So, but it's still perfectly within the parameters of a fourth wave, and it's actually sitting in this massive support. As you can see, right, this one, it's coming from back in spring of last year, and it's holding pretty nicely here at about 4,200. A nice reaction. I mean, it could be, again, just let's say that's a three-wave move in an ABC. So this could be a leading diagonal in a wave A, up in B, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe a quick more drop, and then you go back. So it's a matter of waiting in here. I'm not rushing. That would be my pivot here, 47.67. If we can get back above that level, that would signal me that we're probably in some kind of a fifth wave, or maybe another wave 3. But until that happens, no, I'm not buying the support. I'm not, I'd rather wait and just buy it as it's moving up rather than up here. Sure, it could work, and you would have a very limited, let's say, risk in here, but the market really has not responded from this level yet. So for me, it needs to respond first. Let the buyers come in, and let the heroes get in here first. Show me they have the money, they can buy it. Let what's his name? The guy that has the BMNR. Oh goodness, I look dumb now from not knowing what's his name. The Tom Lee. I'm sorry. Sorry, Tom Lee. But he's probably buying Ethereum here into this pullback, right? So who knows? They would like lower prices, I'm sure. For to add to their positions or their holdings up there. Okay, so that's Ethereum, and then we go back to Ripple, and Ripple, it is I tell you the truth, I'm not too happy with the 1, 2, 3, 4 in here. Somehow I knew that Ripple it does this kind of crazy moves, and then it kind of goes sideways for ages, and we might be in through another one of these, hopefully not, but doing my best here to kind of try to label this. And this was very nice and clean in a WXY. It had tendency to break. It broke slightly above this B wave, but never really above the pivot, which is this big one here at about 383. So that would be the sign that the market is kind of ready to move back up higher. So I don't know what's going on right now. I mean, I don't know if we made a new low below 270, and if we didn't, you could still count this as a wave 2. And this, let's say, being a wave 1 of the next leg higher. I think it's a bit of a stretch due to the depth of this move. So it could be just another X wave, and this becomes a complex correction. So I want you to imagine this as being your W, being your X, being your Y, being your X, and then you have another move that's Z in here, which can go even a bit sideways or what have you. Ideally in 3 waves. It can be a triangle, can be another little bit complex correction in there, right? These are all, I've done so many videos and I'm so tired of talking about complex corrections, so I don't like to kind of go over it all the time. But if you just look into my library, you'll see there's plenty of stuff about complex correction, and you can familiarize yourself with those. I mean, another one is here, which was kind of beautiful. But anyhow, that would be the game plan. And then, until this breaks, not interested. Until this breaks, not interested. So it needs to prove to me that it wants to go higher. And until that happens, I'm patiently waiting in here. So that's kind of how I'm seeing it. Should we play a channel? Should we play with the channel? We could. I doubt that we will respect it, but you can do that. It's you can do something like that. I mean, I think that's an outlier here because it was kind of quickly pushed back, and these are more in line. So if he really wants, so he can kind of fall back down here at some point. You can even play with some fibs if you want, and let's do a retracement of this entire move. Let's see where that kind of comes in. Yeah, you have a 61.8 at about 244. Who knows if we're going to go all the way down there, but it's just just kind of sometimes interesting to see where we're going to get reactions, right? But if it's a 4th wave, you want it to stay around 38.2%. Tell you the truth, it's getting too stretched and a bit too long in the tooth to be a 4th wave. So unless it's another second, I don't know, we might be that this is an ABC up and you're just kind of going sideways. So sorry for not giving you a magic count in here, and to be the guy that called it right. I don't care to be, but I'm just kind of giving you options, and I want you to think about how the wave counts look, and there are options, and for me right now this is the best one. If anything changes, we'll adjust, but I know what I do know is I don't put money to work here because the wave count is messy, it doesn't show me anything yet, and that keeps me out of trouble, and that's enough for me. So thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.